So, hello everyone. Today we're going to have a hands-on session on Zilliqa blockchain. So, in previous month, we already have an introductory session on Zilliqa blockchain. We explained about the functionalities and the features about Zilliqa blockchain. I hope everyone already watched that video. It's in Kerala Blockchain Academy YouTube channel. So now we are moving on to a hands-on session where we can configure a wallet for the blockchain, and using an integrated development environment we can write a smart contract and deploy it to the blockchain, and we can interact with it. So let's move on to our hands-on session. First, we need to configure a wallet. So a wallet is an interface which is used to interact with the blockchain. So it creates accounts for us. So the wallet used in Zilliqa blockchain is called ZilPay. So first we are going to install the ZilPay wallet. So I'm using the Chrome browser. So it's an extension in Chrome. Or if you're using Mozilla, you can find the ZilPay add-on as well. So let's search for the ZilPay extension. So it's called ZilPay wallet, and you can see the first option which will direct us to the home page of ZilPay wallet. Click on here. Now we can see the site of ZilPay wallet, and we will be using this wallet to configure our accounts, and we will be using that accounts to interact with the smart contract as well. So first we need to get the Chrome extension. Click on get Chrome extension here, which will direct us to the Chrome web store where we can download the ZilPay extension. So click on add to Chrome and add extension. I'll talk about the features of ZilPay wallet. So if it's downloaded, and then we will be directed to a page like this where we can create the wallet. So click on create to create a new wallet, and they will give us a seed phrase. So ZilPay wallet is a hierarchically deterministic wallet, which means a single master root is used for creation of all accounts in the wallet. And using this seed phrase, we can recover all the accounts. So we just need to remember these 12 words, which is the seed phrase for this wallet. Click on print, and you can see the mnemonic seed phrase here. We just need to copy this and add to a notepad. Just paste it here so that we can configure the wallet in the next step. So click on continue. Now we just need to verify the seed phrase. So we just need to use that seed phrase which we copied. So if we have successfully managed to verify our recovery phase, it will ask us to put a password for this wallet. So we can just add a password as well, and we just need to confirm it and click on here to accept the privacy policy for the ZilPay wallet, and click on continue to move on. So our account has been created successfully, and we can click on use extension here to move on the extension interface. So this is the interface we get, which is the main interface for the ZilPay wallet. Now we just have one account. If we click on here, we can copy the address, and ZilPay wallet use two different accounts for account address for the accounts in Zilliqa blockchain, and we only have one account at the moment, and we're connected to the mainnet. And if you click on the lock button, you can just log off, and for the full screen view we can click on here, or we can click on this block sign, which will lead us to the block explorer, which is called view block. Click on here. Now we can see our address in the block explorer and the stats regarding that account as well. So right now we don't have any transactions, so just move here. Now at the moment we are connected to the mainnet, so to deploy smart contracts in the mainnet we need the real steel coin, but in this session we are not using the mainnet, we are using the testnet, and we can use the test coins to deploy our smart contract into the blockchain and interact. So click on the mainnet here and switch it back to testnet. Now you can see another option called private, which is for a local environment for configuration. So in here we choosing the testnet. If you click on the testnet, the ZilPay wallet will be connected to the testnet, and you can see the RPC endpoint and the WebSocket endpoint for testnet, and we can use this endpoint to interact with the testnet. Click on back. Now we connect to the testnet, but at the moment we have 0 ZIL, so we just need some test coin in our account to deploy a smart contract and interact with it. So to get test coin, you need to click on receive button here, and we need the test coin from the test faucet. So the test faucet provide us with some test coin, so click on test faucet, which will direct us to a faucet where we can get the test coin. So now we need to provide the address, account address in here. So we go back to the ZilPay, and we just need to copy our address and paste it here. And we need to solve this calculus. And run faucet. Now the transaction is in process. It will take some time, so I will use that time to explain the features of ZilPay wallet. So if we click on here, we can see the certain options of the ZilPay wallet. If we click on account, we can see the QR code and the account address for that particular account, and click on here to see that account in the view block explorer. We already done that, so we move on to the next feature, which is the general part. Now at the moment by default it's USD, so what the currency option will convert the SIL to the particular value as well. So at the moment it's converted to the USD. When we click on Bitcoin or Ethereum to convert the SIL value to that coin as well. And you can change the theme to dark, or you can switch back to light. And Another option will be advanced, where we can see the default gas price. So uh, if you have already watched the first introductory session, we talked about the gas consumption in Zilliqa blockchain. So since Zilliqa blockchain has managed to have a higher transaction throughput and a much less transaction finality, it has less gas price compared to other public blockchains like Ethereum. So if we click on these two options, we can get the transactions in a much faster way, but it will consume more gas. We'll just go with the default average value. And there are two options in here, which is spec32 and base 16. By default, it's spec32. Base 16 is an address format which is similar to Ethereum. If we click on here and selecting the base 16 and go back, we can see our address has been changed to an address similar to that of an Ethereum. So Zilliqa use two different account address to differentiate the accounts from other blockchains. So we'll just go back and select the bec32 as well. So the bec32, we can differentiate the account from other blockchains because it has a prefix of Zil in the beginning. And when we move on to the next part, which is the networks, where we can connect to the different networks. So we already talked about it. Mainnet. In order to connect to mainnet, we just need to have the real Zil coin. And if we are able to run a local test environment, we can connect it to through using private. So at the moment we are connected to the test net. And if you click on connections, you can see the connections we made using the ZilPay wallet. So at the moment we haven't made any connection. If we in later part, if we make a connection with the IDE, we can see that IDE name here. So in the security part, we can set the auto logout timer, which will log out after a specific time, and click on here to reveal the private key regarding the account. So as I said, ZilPay is a hierarchically deterministic wallet, which means we don't need to bother about the private key part regarding the accounts. And click on here to reveal the private key, and we just need to specify the password which we set at the beginning of the configuration to see the private key. And this is the private key regarding that account. And you can also reveal the seed phrase. In the beginning, we use the secret phrase to configure our wallet, and you can download the key store file for this account. Or if you're using the ZilPay mobile extension, you can connect it through here. If we click about, you can see the GitHub link and the privacy policy regarding the ZilPay wallet. So the transaction is pending and the Zil coin hasn't made it to the account. In order to add accounts, you can go through here. If you click on the plus button, it will create another account here. Or if you have a key store file, we can load that account to the ZilPay wallet through here. So I have already downloaded a key store of an account with valid test coin. So I'll just import it here. Yeah, we have managed to upload the account. So we can switch back to the account. So the faucet is taking some time. So I'll just move on with the imported account. So we can see the comparison in the USD right here. So now on we can write a smart contract in Zilliqa blockchain. So in order to write a smart contract, we just need an IDE, which is an integrated development environment. So the IDE used by the Zilliqa blockchain is called Neo Savant. IDE, and you can click on the first link here to get direct to the Neo Savant IDE. So we will use this IDE to write our smart contract. So let me give a brief description about the the smart contracts. The smart contracts is like in real life scenario, smart contract is similar to a vending machine where we can interact with the vending machine without a middleman, unlike a store. So we just need to give the coin and the vending machine give us back which option we selected. So smart contracts works in that sense, but in the programming world. So it does not require a central authority to like facilitate uh, the functions regarding that smart contract. So and Zilliqa uses a smart contract specific language called Scilla, which is different from other blockchains. So if you look into Ethereum, Ethereum uses a smart contract language called Solidity, and Zilliqa uses its own smart contract specific language, and it's called Scilla. And so you may be wondering why move on to a new language when we already have pre-built languages. So uh, the smart contract, as like I said, the smart contract does not need a middleman to facilitate the transactions regarding the functions in the smart contract. So the smart contract need to be bug free so that it would not yield errors in the future. So it just need to be safe and secure. And there have been issues with other smart contract language, like with Solidity. There's been several incidents regarding this concept of security. So that's why Zilliqa team has created their own smart contract language called Scilla in order to ensure the safety and security of smart contracts. And it's a functional programming language, so it provides static checks and verification by default. So we just need to create a file for our smart contract. So the IDE also provide us with certain sample smart contracts here. We just need to create a new one. So click on this icon to create a new smart contract, and when you go drop down, you can see the file here. You just need to rename it. I'm just calling the smart contract symbol storage. So our smart contract is just a symbol storage, which will take a value from the user through a function, and then through another function it shows that value where it fetches from the blockchain and show it to the user. So it will have two functions, and there's a thing about functions in Scilla. I will talk about it. So we can write our smart contract in this editor. So first we just need to specify which version of Scilla we'll be using. So we'll be using Scilla version 0. And if we click on here, we can enhance the font size. Just increase it by a little. Yeah. So we need to specify the Scilla version we will be using. So it's Scilla version 0. Now we can move on to the contract part. So to define a contract, we use the keyword contract, and we just call it the same name as the file. And we just need to have this as well. So at the moment, we're not providing any arguments to the contract. We just need to give it as MDS here. So in Scilla, the scope of the contract is for the entire file. So there's not Scilla does not use curly braces to define the scope of a contract. So if you specify a contract, it will take the entire file as well. So at the moment, each file will be a single contract. And we can move on with the variables. So I said Scilla is a functional programming language. So if you're familiar with other functional programming languages like Rust, the variables we define in Scilla are by default immutable, which means we can't change it. So here we need a variable which changes by the interaction of the user. So in order to make a mutable variable, we need to specify the variable with the keyword field. So I'll just create a mutable variable here with the keyword field. I'll just name the variable welcome message. You can name it where as per your like, and we need to specify the type of this variable. So it's a string, and we'll just provide an empty string. So we have defined a mutable variable in Scilla. Now we can define the functions. So the functions in Scilla are defined using the keyword transition. So the functions in Scilla are called transitions, and like the keyword contract, transitions does not use the curly braces. So in order to define the scope, we use another keyword called end. So we just need two functions in this smart contract, one to get the value from the user, and the second one to retrieve this value from blockchain to the user. To the user. So we need two functions, like we define functions using the keyword transition. So what one will be the set message, where we take the value from the user, and the next function will be get message, which will retrieve the value from the blockchain back to the user. And we use the end keyword here as well. And this transition is an argument. We just need a variable name and a variable type for this argument. And we can assign this argument to the mutable variable we defined earlier, which is the welcome message. We can assign the argument to the variable using this operator. Now we need to add the semicolon as well, because there are expressions and statements in Scilla. So expressions are just pure operations which does not affect the state of the smart contract. So we can see this is an expression, while this changes the state of the blockchain, and it's a statement. So we just need to end the statement using the semicolon. And the transitions in Scilla does not have a return value. So in order to return a value to the user, we use events in transition. So we just need to define events. So events is just functions which retrieve a value from the smart contract to the end user. So we just need to define an event here. And we'll just give the event same name as the transition. So this variable is explicit. We need to specify the event name for every event in Scilla. And we can define another variable in Scilla as well. I'm just calling it status, which says success. And we just need to close the curly braces. So curly braces are used only for the events, and we just need to provide the semicolon as well because it's a statement. Now we define the event. We need to emit this event to the user. So we use the event keyword to emit this event to the user. So now we have done writing our set message transition. Now we can move on to the get message. So the get message does not retrieve any value from the user, so we can just leave it as empty. And we just need to define another variable. I'm just calling it simply R, which retrieves the value from the blockchain to the user. So whenever we read a value from the blockchain, we use this arrow operator, and we read the value of welcome message and store it in the R. Now we need another event which showcases this value to the user. Same like here, we define an event name, we specify the name get message. Instead of status, we will just give this value here. So just give a name, simple name like message, and the value of R. And we need to close this event and provide the semicolon. Also, we need to emit this. So we are already done with our second transition get message as well. We read the value from the blockchain and store it into a variable called R. And using the event, we showcase this value to the user. Now, if we click on check, we can check whether there's any error regarding the smart contract. Click on here. So the contract has been successfully checked. We don't have any error. So it's just showing a warning because the transitions which we define does not have the accept statement. So the accept statement allows us to send ZIL to the smart contract. So at the moment we haven't defined any of that, so it just gives us a warning regarding that. We can just ignore that. And now we need to connect it to our ZilPay wallet. So we can show the wallet here. If you click on the wallet here, you can see the account. So now we can connect our IDE to this ZilPay wallet. So in order to connect, we need to click on this simulated environment. So the Neo Savant also provide us with a simulated environment. I'm just using the testnet. So click on the testnet. And we just need to import the account from our ZilPay wallet to here. So click on import account. You can import the account through key store or through a hardware wallet like ledger. So I'm using ZilPay here. Click on ZilPay and connect. It will allow us to connect to ZilPay wallet. So click on connect, and our accounts has been successfully imported. Now we can see our address here, and we can see the ZIL value. So if you click go on back to the ZilPay wallet, it shows the back32 address here, but in here it just shows the base 16 address. So at the moment the IDE only supports the base 16 address format. So we can see the ZIL in our account here. Now we just need to deploy our contract. So click on the deploy button here to deploy our contract. And click on here to deploy our contract. So it will ask us to confirm the transaction, which is the deployment of the contract. We just need to confirm it. It will take some time. So I'll just explain certain features of the IDE in that time. So if we click on the Scilla docs, we can see the docs for the language Scilla. You can read different features and the functionalities provided by the smart contract language Scilla. You can work out the examples as well. So we have confirmed our transaction. We have the transaction ID and the contract address here. So there are two address. There are two accounts in Zilliqa blockchain, which is the externally owned account, which is like an account like here, which is an account owned by a user, and the other account is the contract address, contract account, which is owned by the contract. So if we click on this contract address, it will direct us to the block explorer called devx. So it is not view block. It is devx, which is another block explorer used by Zilliqa. So we can see the details regarding the contract. We can see the initial parameters, the state of the contract. At the moment we have balance of 0 and the welcome message is just named string. And if we click on the code, we can see the entire smart contract as well. And if you click on the transaction ID, we can see the details regarding the transaction, which will also divert us to devx block explorer. And we can see the gas price, the block number, and other details regarding the transactions. So the deployed contracts will be shown here. So click on here to see the transitions in the smart contracts which we have deployed now. So if you deploy a contract, then it will become a read-only, because again, it's a normal concept that anything written in blockchain is immutable. So after the deployment, we can't change the contract, so it's immutable. And we can see the transitions which we defined here. So set message to get the value from the user, and get message fetches that value from blockchain back to the user. So click on set message, which is our first transition. And in this bar, we just need to give the value for the variable message, which is the argument for the set message transition. I'll just give a value. It's called hello kva, and click on call transition to initiate the transaction. So ZilPay again asks us to confirm that transaction. We just need to confirm it. And it will take some time to reach the network. And we can go back to our functionalities of the IDE. So if we click on the tutorial, which will direct us to an interactive site called Learn Scilla, where we can learn the programming regarding Scilla through in an interactive way. So click on get started, and we can move on through which difficulty we want. So, and we can complete all these chapters in an interactive way, which is a good resource for learning Scilla. If we click on tools, we can see two converters. So one is the address converter, which converts an address base 16 address to a base32 or vice versa. So I'll just copy our address from here and paste it in base 16 and click on enter, and we can see the base32 address, and this is the same value from our ZilPay wallet. And if we go back to the wallet, we can see the transactions here as well. So we can see the first transaction here, which is the deployment. Second transaction is being triggered, showing here as well. Units converter is used to convert Zil to its. So we have confirmed our transaction. I'll just talk about this unit converter and then we can move on regarding our smart contract. So the similar denominations of Zilliqa are Li and Ka. If we can provide a value here, I'll just provide 10 here. For 10 Zil, we can see how much that in Li and Ka. And if we click on the Network Explorer, we can see the DevX again. And the ID also provide us with the link for the faucet. So our transaction has been successfully confirmed. And we can see the details regarding the transaction ID here. And we can see the value which we set through here. Click on this tab where we can see the events. So this is the first transaction with the event name set message. So we can see our events in here, and it shows us the value of success which we defined in here. So our transaction has been successfully confirmed, and we called the first transition. Now we can call the second transition, which retrieves the value from the blockchain back to the user. So click on the smart contract again to see the transitions, and click on get message. Here we do not provide any arguments, so that's why it's not asking us any arguments. So we just click on the call transition button, and we can confirm that transaction through ZilPay. Click on confirm. It will take some time to reach the confirmation. If you are providing any Zil to the smart contract, we can provide it through the account bar. So we have successfully called the transaction. So click on the event bar, and we can see our second event, which is the get message, and it retrieves the value of hello KBA from the blockchain to the user. So we have successfully written a smart contract and called two functions in the smart contract, with one being setting a value to the blockchain, and the second being getting this value back to the user. So that's all for this hands-on session. So anyone have any doubts regarding the configuration of the wallet and the deployment of smart contract and the interaction? Please ask.